Live from the local station, this is Weather Authority Weekday.
Good Tuesday to you. I'm meteorologist Mark Collins.
I'm meteorologist Katie Garner. We're in here together today because we've got a lot to talk about tropically.
Yeah. We've got some wave action along our beaches. We've got some dry weather coming in here locally in Jacksonville. And of course, what was a powerful Cat 5 Hurricane Erin is now a Cat 2 with 110 mile per hour winds. That's good news, right? You want to see a weekend. But the trade-off is that this hurricane is going to become massive. The bigger the storm, the more kinetic energy it puts into the ocean. Bigger waves means problems along the east coast of the United States, even though the storm is going to stay off the coastline. So we're looking at the track here. Why don't we play this forward, and you can see this forecast will take it due east of us. This is what we said 7 days ago. That 7 days ago we were talking, by Wednesday of next week it would be due east. I wish every forecast was this precise.
Me too, because it really was very precise. But you know what? Some friends of mine in North Carolina called me. Yeah. They are having some trouble in areas like Wrightsville Beach and the coast, like Outer Banks.
Take a look at those waves there. We had some big surf along Wrightsville Beach. It's the same waves that has shown up on our beaches here. Starting last night, we started to get those Erin swells. And look at all the cars. Those cars are pop-up tents, I guess.
I can't tell, but that's really cool.
But it was a beautiful sunny day there, and those waves are much smaller compared to what's coming in. In fact, here locally, our waves are going to double in size from today to tomorrow. On Wednesday, our waves are going to be peaking. Taking a look at Jack's Beach Pier, you can see that the high tide was this morning. It's starting to drop down, so there's some tide pools left over. And yesterday, the water was coming up over some of the sea turtle nests. So hopefully the water doesn't interfere with the incubation period of those sea turtles. But back to the forecast, because we're going to talk about Erin as it moves up the coastline. There you see it will start to veer away from Cape Hatteras, but it'll get close enough where there are evacuation warnings for the outer islands. Now, it's not really because of the high winds. They get winds at 40, and that's about as strong as they'll gust to there. But it's really the wave action that's going to be causing some undermining of home foundations if they're not lifted on the stilts. Now, we're back here on the home front. We're going to be dealing with heat and some isolated to scattered showers, mainly over inland areas. The northeast winds are going to be pushing in, and that will drive that rain inland today. Today will likely be one of the drier days that we'll see for the upcoming work week.
Green Cove Springs looks good out there right now. You got blue skies. The water, though, looks good. You know, you get out on it. It's a good time to do it today because, as Mark said, as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, things are going to pick up. Surfers love it. I mean, and surfers can swim. They know what they're doing. But if you don't know, you need to be careful because really those rip current risks are high. But this is what we're going to see a little later today. We've got some of these pop-up showers and storms. Listen, they're isolated. It's not like they're going to wash everybody out. But if you see them, they could pack a punch at times. But it is a drier trend that we're under. We've been talking about that all morning.
Definitely. Yeah, so if there are any coastal showers, they're going to be very brief and tend to focus in the morning hours. During the afternoon, the concentration of scattered showers will be over inland locations. But with that northeast breeze, you can't rule out a passing shower here through the evening or overnight time period. But in general, this is just definitely a quieter setup for us, and that's why rain chances are on the lower side, 20 to 30% here today, with temperatures in low 90s.
Yeah, our average is 91, so we're closer to average, but we're going to kind of increase that into tomorrow. Still, though, I mean, look at this. The tropics are heating up, you know.
So I backed this map out to show the cold fronts to the north. So this was baked into the forecast, and this was the system. These were the fronts that were going to curve this storm to the north. It's weakening the Bermuda Ridge. When those ridges of high pressure are strong, it steers storms into Florida or the Gulf of Mexico. Not the case with this system. And it looks like the one that could possibly develop in its wake a week from today in the Central Atlantic, that too would stay out over the Atlantic. We'll talk about that. But first, here's Erin. And you can see that the winds along the Outer Banks reaching tropical storm force gusts, not sustained, just gusts there over 40 miles per hour, and that would be Wednesday into Thursday. By Thursday, we're going to see our winds go offshore, and that's why I'm thinking that Thursday is the better day for surf here. Now, as that storm expands, we're still going to be dealing with some waves along our beaches as that storm pushes off towards the northeast. So this particular forecast chart is on the lower side. This is talking about waves right there on the sandbar, around 5 to 6 feet. Now, it's not necessarily, if you were to take a ruler and you measure 6 feet, these would likely be waves that would be a couple feet overhead. So the Hawaiians judge wave height by the back of the wave. So that's why these waves would likely be several feet overhead for Wednesday into Thursday. And then it starts to drop off a bit more as we head into the weekend. All right, let's change this so that it shows wave heights. Let's see if this works.
Sometimes we just got to roll with our system, but here we go.
All right, so this is showing the wave forecast, and notice like the eye wall, those waves will be building over 30 feet. Some models are showing 45-foot waves there along the coastal areas, and seas 7 to 8 feet coming up right along the sandbars here in our area. So this is Wednesday, which shows the highest wave energy pinned around our coast, and pretty much anywhere from Fort Pierce northward up into the Atlantic Bight. And then the waves start to drop off on Thursday. Now, why would Thursday be a better day to surf? Simply because there's still the swell energy and there's the offshore wind. So offshore winds and high wave periods are better than the actual wave heights. Notice there, waves 46 feet in the center of that storm. So big, massive storm pushing waves up into Rhode Island. Places like Ruggles will be going off. Up into New Hampshire, they'll be getting some really good waves up there. And then that fading swell into the weekend. And then next week, we're going to be gearing up for what could be more waves by the end of the upcoming work week. Forecasted winds. So notice how these are gusts to 20 and 25 along the coast out of the northeast today. And then tomorrow it turns more northerly. So that's going to chop up the surf and make it kind of not the best groomed waves until we get into Thursday. And then those winds drop off. Perfect speeds. Offshore westerly winds mean clean, glassy barrels, especially during the low tide. Low tides along the East Coast have been in the middle of the afternoon this week, so it's bookended by high tides in the morning and evening. So you'll find that Thursday morning it's going to be glassy, but you might have some high tides to contend with. All right, so this is looking at the next system that is right there between, not the one off of Africa. Interestingly, that's Invest number 99. The Hurricane Center put an Invest locator on that to start running models. But they don't have an Invest on that system there over the middle of the Atlantic, and it's closer to like 15 north.
I was surprised by that because it's going to take the same track, it looks like, as Erin before Erin developed toward Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, you know.
So that is Erin right there. That's what we've been talking about. But the tropical models are going to be showing Invest 99. Now, that one is going to be later than the one that I want to focus on. But just to show you the spaghetti models, that one is pretty low in latitude, further west than that non-named system. This is the non-named system that I put a tropical wave on, and that wave will likely lift to the Greater Antilles here by the end of the week, and then we're looking at early next week, that lifting northward on the same trajectory that Erin took. So it's the same weakness in the Bermuda Ridge, cold fronts swinging off the United States that would likely send that northward. And models, the GFS at least, which has not been particularly good, keeps it as a weaker tropical storm. Now, incidentally, that GFS model was showing it as a hurricane hitting Florida a few runs ago. So there is no consistency. So we'll be watching that system closely into next week. But the forecast here calls for an uptick in rain as we head towards the end of the week into the upcoming weekend, and highs staying mainly in the lower to mid 90s.
Well, we're happy everybody joined us today. We hope you feel informed. I think this is something people could watch again and again if they want explanations of what's going to happen. It's going to be
some popcorn and do that.
Right?
Get those clicks up. We need the clicks.
We need the numbers. Come on. Anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.